dear champions. How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing well and keeping your family also safe and healthy. Great. Today's learning bite session is all about how to become a people's person. And let's first understand what this being a people's person all about. Now, who's gregarious, outgoing, and enjoys being around people, the ones around you must also like you in order to become a successful people's person. Excellent communication skills, along with the ability to handle tough situations and manage people while doing so, is one of the most important skills required to become a people's person. And I am sure around you, you must be having a lot of such people. Those are people's person. These are the people that people like to spend time with. These are the people that people like to take inspiration from. These are the people that people like to become like. So we have this whole bunch of people around us who are a people's person, and to some or the other extent, even we are people's person. All of us are social in by that context, and it's just about how do you enhance those skills that you become likable, connectable, approachable to more and more people. Let's find out in today's session what is it all about. If you're ready for the same, give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Amazing. Thank you very much. Now, a people's person is someone with virtues of patience, courage, righteous values, and appreciation. And this also brings us to a question to understand why is it important to become a people's person. Now, when I share this with you, you would agree with me that relationships make the world go round, right? Yeah, you truly agree with me. Without other people's feedback and their opinion or their understanding or their feeling about how we have been behaving, it's easy to become limited in our own mental silo of information or constrained by our own experiences. So if we want to extend our circle of influence and improve more and more, we must learn how to work with and through people. And therefore, today's session talk about how do we become a people's person, those key areas that we can easily implement into our lives and achieve what we have decided today. Now, many of you would be familiar with this face, but what you might not know about him is that he wasn't liked much by his co-workers or employees in his early days. He was perceived as an arrogant and unaccommodating leader, and he had sympathy for his employees when they needed, but he never showed any empathy. This made his personality unlikable. Well, over the years, Steve Jobs came to realize this shortcoming, and it was when he was ousted from his own company that he realized how grave the situation has become because of this one key trait. When he made a comeback to the company, his employees noticed a massive change in his personality. He had indeed become a people's person. And what he changed when he made this comeback was he transformed himself from showing sympathy to empathy. So that's our first learning for today. Try empathy, not sympathy. For many people, they confuse between the sympathy and empathy. To make it a little clearer, here are some opinions on that. To sympathize is to feel for other person. To empathize is to view the other person's perspective from his or her own shoes while not passing judgmental, without being judgmental. It's an unbiased, unjudgmental understanding of somebody's situation. Now, so when you have sympathy and then you have statements like, you say, I'm sorry to hear about it. Or you say, my sincerest apologies. But while you are empathetic, you not only say statements like these, or you say that, you must be feeling so proud, or you must be feeling so shattered. You not just use these statements, but you put your support into action. Sympathy ends with words. Empathy ends with actions. Actions to help people come out of that misery, that pain, that situation. And that is the key difference between empathy and sympathy. And all of us would unanimously agree on the point that we would definitely more like a person, be more connectable to the person who not only tells us that yes, he understands us, but also take actions to ensure that I come out of that pain or misery. Am I right, champions? Is that a thumbs up? Right. So if you really want to become a people's person, it's about going to the next step, not just understanding how they must be feeling, because you could relate to your own experiences, what they are doing right now, but you also act on it and help them come out of that situation. So that's the first point. And Mohsen Hamid says that empathy is about finding echoes of another person in yourself. And if you were to understand that person's pain into yourself and align with it, then you would definitely have that urge to come out of that pain. So use that urge to give them a solution and help them come out of that situation. So that's the first point, champions. And then we move on to the next one. He's Mark. He works at a multinational organization in New York. He handles a team of around 20 people, and most of his team does not have a connection with him. Why? Because they find him very mechanical in his behavior, and most of his response is very robotic. They do not feel a connection with him. This has led to an unpleasant environment in the team, which is quite natural, and the overall performance of the team has also taken a hit. What do you think is the problem with Mark as a manager? It's clearly right here that his behavior is more of a robotic, which is more mechanical. So that's our second point. Please make a note of the same, champions. Refrain from a robotic behavior. Being a manager means that people in your team look up to your guidance. And it's not just about being a manager, being a team member also. There is so much that you learn from others and so much that people learn from you. So if you display a behavior that is mechanical and robotic, it will make people trust you less, because you would come across as a person who's not amalgamated with emotions, right? And they will refrain from having an interaction with you, because that is what will happen, because they'll not be able to connect with you more. You must develop a pleasant personality in order to make your team feel comfortable. So it is one of the first steps to take if you really want to become a people's person. So what should we do? We should be doing, rather than following the robotic question answer sequence of how are you, good, how are you, don't do that, conversation killers. Try to actually answer how you feel, make it more personal, make it more emotion oriented. So when did somebody just simply ask you, so how are you doing? Just say, I'm doing awesome. Today is going very well. And I'm looking forward to the 4 p.m. session to learn some amazing stuff. How are you doing? Do you see the difference right there? The earlier one is more of a mechanical or a robotic one, but the latter one is more to do with emotions, with sharing, with opening up, and that makes people to connect. So that's the second point, champions, and please make a note of the same. The real education is your attitude or behavior with others. It defines your whole personality, no matter how qualified you are. Is that a thumbs up? If you all agree with that, great. So it's all about making a human connection with people, making an emotional connect with people, and refrain from being robotic. That's the second point. Let's move on to a third point, and I'm going to share with you some amazing, fun, and interesting scientific study conclusions. According to a research done by scientists and professors at Harvard University, it was found that people love talking about themselves. How many of you agree on that? Great, give me a thumbs up there. Amazing. Now, this is not about being a narcissist and you're always talking about yourself, but everybody loves to talk about themselves, right? And self-disclosure is extra rewarding. People were even willing to forego money in order to talk about themselves, said Harvard neuroscientist Diana Tamir. Now, this comes across as a very, very valuable information for us, because if people love to talk about themselves, let people talk about themselves. That's the third point here, champions, because you are giving them that opportunity in today's world, which very few people really offer to others. So what's that one topic people like talking about most? Themselves, their own experiences, their behaviors, their emotions, what they're feeling, right? So let them talk about themselves. When you give them that space and that listening, when they are able to talk about themselves, they feel valued, they feel connected, they feel heard of. And then they feel that, yes, this is one person that I can connect with more and more. So the more interest you show in the other person, the more he or she finds you interesting. Now, this is one key learning to follow in order to become a people's person. Do you agree with me, champions? Then give me a thumbs up. Awesome. So this is third point, and this is so crucial. It's so easy to do that. All that you have to do is listen to them and let them talk about themselves, and then appreciate them, and then ask them more about more experiences, about more memories, more moments of joys, sorrows, anything. Let them talk about themselves, and then see the magic, how much they are able to connect. All right? Great. Now, here's another piece of good advice and a good observation that we all must have for our own selves. So, listen carefully to how a person speaks about other people to you. This is how they will speak about you to other people. So people often judge you based on how you talk to others, right? And that's a key observation. And that's something which defines a lot as to what kind of personality an individual is carrying. If somebody has a tendency of talking badly or rudely to people, it causes great harm to the entire image of that person. So if your instant reaction to anyone's mistake is shouting at them or expressing your anger without even thinking, then that's a mistake. And then if we are in the habit of doing such kind of behaviors, we'll never be able to become a people's person. So what is important to be understood here is don't talk badly about people and don't talk badly to people as well. So what is important here is to understand is that the tone, the way we talk and the voice modulations, if you think that they don't make quite a difference, I am sorry to say you are wrong. They make huge impact on how your communication is perceived by your recipients, is perceived by your receiver, is perceived by your team members, your colleagues, and everybody. So it is very, very important to maintain a calm and respectful tone while talking to people, even if they are at fault. No one likes to be talked badly at. I don't like it. You don't like it. Yes. Now, let's do a quick understanding of this. See if you can tell the difference between these two statements. I can't believe you did that. It's an aggressive tone. Listen to this now. I can't believe you did that. It is said with a surprise and excitement and happiness. Isn't it, champions? I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did that. The same sentence, the same words spoken in different ways, they create and evoke different kind of feelings in the recipient. Are you with me, champion? And I'm sure this has happened with a lot of you. Yes, you could feel the difference. And a lot of people have, whenever they have arguments, it usually doesn't start with difference of opinions. A lot of people at the end of an argument say, I was okay with what he was saying. I was not okay with how he was saying it, how she was expressing it. I was okay with the idea. So a majority of our communication gap and the personal differences that happen did not happen, and they do not occur because of differences of opinion, but they rather occur because the tonality, the modulation, the volume, the way it is being spoken, the entire articulation of that piece of communication was not apt. So it is important now to understand how we talk to people in front of them and also how we talk about others as well. So it's important to really regulate and supervise our own thoughts, our own communication, and our own way and skill and style of communicating. So focus on and observe what you are speaking to a person, how you're speaking to a person, and what and how you're speaking about a third person who is not there. All these combined together, all these observations combined together, they give out a message about your personality. So if I come across as a person who talks respectfully to people, who talks with utmost honesty, and I use proper voice modulations, I use proper way of speaking, and I use the right kind of words, I'm not insulting, I'm very, very considerate, and I'm very, very thoughtful about what and how I'm speaking to a person. Also, in front of nobody, I talk nonsense about anyone, or I don't talk any negative about anyone. This gives an image to my own self in front of others that I'm a person who comes across as a positive person. And when we do it with everyone, that is what we are. Are you with me, champions? That is what becomes your ultimate behavior. That is what becomes your nature. I don't talk bad to people. I don't talk bad words to people. I don't talk bad about other people who are not there. Now, what do I talk then? I talk good things. I talk appreciative things. I talk constructive things. I do share improvement ideas, but I share it with respect, with care, with concern, with appreciation. I am the one who has taken a promise to improve in my life, and I am helping others also with utmost respect and consideration. Now, how many of you think that if we follow these couple of things while we are communicating with others, we slowly and gradually become more and more loving and more a people's person? How many of you agree? Give me a thumbs up in the chat box then. Amazing champions. Now, I know someone who is a people's person since a very long time, right? And there is so much he does that is so inspirational. I'm talking about nobody other than our own Mr. Ratan Tata. He's one of the most famous personalities of our country, and he is a true example of being a people's person. Throughout his career, he has been a favorite among his employees, and he has always displayed the best qualities that are required to become a people's person, and we've just discussed all of them. We must take inspiration from him, and therefore, let's quickly revise what we did today. The first point of 4 ways to become a people's person. Try empathy, not sympathy. Sympathy ends with words, empathy ends with actions. Do not constrain yourself, do not stop yourself by sharing that, yes, I feel for you, I understand how you must be feeling, but do something to get them out of that situation. The second is refrain from robotic behavior. Make that human connect, make it more emotional, feeling oriented. Don't make it robotic and mechanical. Third is let people talk about themselves, because that's what they love to do. That's what all of us love to do. And somebody who allows us and gives us space to talk more and more about ourselves, we feel more at comfort and more at connect with them. So do that more often, and you will see that you are becoming more and more a people's person. And the last point that we discussed was do not talk badly about people. Have a clear focus, a close observation on how I'm communicating to people, about people, and that is going to massively change the way people take you as a people's person. All right, champions. With this, we have come to the end of this learning bite. And congratulations, you're all set to win with these amazing 4 ideas that can help you become more and more of a people's person on an everyday basis. So all the best for that. Joy rides of learning. Please do connect with us. My name is Yasha Vatsa from Star Consulting Global. I look forward to connecting with you over LinkedIn, and I am really looking forward to connecting with you over other social platforms as well. We're right there with Star Consulting Global. Today's session was all about becoming a people's person. And that is something that not only helps us become more and more close to people, but also boosts our motivation as well. When we feel valued, when we feel appreciated, when we feel that, yes, we are able to help people in more than many ways, we become really, really motivated. So my request is, please do try these ideas at your workplace, at your home. Become a more and more of a people's person, and let's together make this world a beautiful place to live in. All the very best, champions. Thank you. Namaste.